Hello all, and today we will discuss how to set up an application load balancer over HTTP with EC2. Before we jump into the demo, let us review through all the steps. So first we will launch two EC2 Linux instances in either a single or separate public subnets in your default VPC. Ensure that both the instances have public IP enabled. Create and associate a security group with port 80 and 22 enabled for both the instances. On both these two Linux instances, we will basically SSH into them using EC2 user. After we have SSH into our Linux EC2 instances and successfully connected to them, we will switch to the root user and install, enable, and start HTTPD. I have enlisted the commands to install HTTPD, enable HTTPD, and start HTTPD as well. After we have enabled and started our HTTPD, we will basically create a test HTML file on both these Linux EC2 instances. Now, the test file that we will create, we need to ensure that there is some different sample text. For example, either we can showcase the EC2 IP address or have a different background color. The reason behind it being is to differentiate when we will access this HTML file over our load balancer to understand which EC2 instance is this file being rendered from. Okay, so you could use possibly any text to kind of differentiate that, hey, this is coming from EC2 instance XYZ, and this is coming from EC2 instance XYZ or ABC. After we have created a sample text, we will basically create an application load balancer. And in this case, it's going to be an HTTP balancer. After we have created the load balancer, we will create and associate a security group with port 80 enabled. Finally, we will create a target group and attach both our EC2 instances to this particular target group. Before we move further ahead and test this, we need to ensure that our target instances are healthy. This generally takes a few minutes, approximately about 5 to 10 minutes. So during that time, I will pause the video and then I will resume recording once our instances are up and healthy. Finally, we will access our HTML page over ELB's DNS. We will refresh our page a couple of times just to ensure that it is being randomly loaded from either of the two EC2 instances. Now, in order to, kind of speed up the demo, what I have done is I have launched the two EC2 instances already in my default VPC. And both these EC2 instances have public IPs associated and enabled for themselves. Now, if you need to know how to launch an EC2 Linux instance, please refer to my video. I have created another video over here, right here, how to launch a Linux EC2 instance. You can refer to this video to understand how to launch an EC2 instance. Now in this demo, I will not be showing how to create a private and a public key. We will simply just use my existing keys. But if you need to know how to SSH into a Linux EC2 instance, please refer to my video, Connect to a Linux EC2 instance using SSH. And this video kind of details all the steps. Okay, so let us get started with our demo. So as I said, I have launched two EC2 instances, and these are my two EC2 instances. I have given them names as my EC2-1 and my EC2-2. And both these instances are up and running, as you see. So we will continue further ahead with our steps. So let's select our first EC2 instance, and I'm going to copy the public IP right here. And what we will do is we will connect to this particular EC2 instance using PuTTY. So let's copy paste the IP address right here. Just so that you can see my window clearly, I'm going to increase the font size. I'm going to make it 16. Click on OK. And then finally go ahead and select our private key file. So this is my private key file. So I'm going to select that and click on open. So yes, we will go ahead and connect to our EC2 instance. We will log in using EC2 user. So I'm going to type in basically EC2 user right here. And as you see now, we are connected to our EC2 instance. Okay, so let us switch to the root user, and we will do this by typing sudo su, click enter, and then we will go ahead and install httpd. Okay, so let's do that. So as you see, our installation has begun and our installation has completed. So we've successfully installed httpd on our EC2 one. The next thing that we will do is basically enable httpd on our machine. So this is the command for that. So sudo systemctl enable httpd, hit enter. After we've enabled it, we will go ahead and start httpd. So just replace enable with start and hit enter. And now we should be able to review or basically see our test HTML page right here using our EC2 instances public IP. Okay, so as you see, it states over here, you may add, additional content to this particular directory, and that's exactly what we will be doing. So I'm going to copy this path right here. Go over here, type cd, and change the directory to HTML, and go straight to HTML right here. We will create an HTML file here. So I'm going to create a file index.html, hit enter. Now to speed up the demo, actually I have created a sample HTML file right here, as you see. And what we will do is we will copy our EC2's public IP address. So let's go back and copy the IP address and paste it right here. We will select this entire text and copy it in our index.html on EC2 one. Now, every time we load this page, as you see, this it is going to come up with this heading. This is index HTML for my website from the following IP address. Okay, so we will go ahead and paste it in right here. Okay, so hit insert and then right click and paste. And let's check if everything has come in correctly. So everything looks good. Okay, hit escape, :WQ. This will help us to save this file on this machine, and hit enter. So our file has been successfully saved. Let's go back to our EC2 instance, and the test page was right here, and we're going to type in index.html, and we should be able to view our page right here. As you see, it says that this is from XYZ IP address, which is the IP address of our EC2 one instance. Okay, now the steps that we have performed on our EC2 one instance will be the same set of steps that we will perform on our EC2 instance. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So this is my EC2 instance right here. Okay, and the first thing that we will do is go ahead and copy its public IP address. Finally, we will putty into it and paste our IP address here. I'm going to increase the appearance, increase the font to 16, click on OK, and then basically select my public IP. Okay, maybe I can change the background to a different color. I can try doing that. Okay, or maybe I can just make the background as probably green, just to differentiate between the two windows. Okay, so okay, and open. So as you see, we have a different color background, and this is the this is our putty into the EC2 instance. Okay, so click on yes, and we will type EC2 hyphen user. Okay, so as you see, we are logged in, and we will now switch to sudo su. Here is the command right here. Hit enter, and we follow the same set of steps. I'm going to go ahead and install httpd. Hit yes. Finally, we will go ahead and enable our httpd. So sudo system ctl enable httpd, and then finally we will go ahead and start httpd. Okay, so just how we accessed our EC for EC2 instance, we will access our EC2 instance. Okay, so let me go ahead and copy its IP again, and we should be able to see the test page right here. Okay, so hit enter, and as you see, we can see the test page. Similarly, we will again go ahead and create index.html in this directory. So let's copy this. Let's go back to our putty for EC2. Okay, cd, and let's change the directory. Okay, so we are in our HTML directory, and again we will create index.html right here, and we will insert the contents. So let's go back to our sample HTML right here. I will change the IP address to the IP address of our EC2 instance. So let me go ahead and copy it again. So I've copied it right here, and then, okay, so let's type this address, save it, copy the entire text, go back to your EC2 putty and paste it right here. So as you see, our HTML has been copied successfully with the right IP address. Finally, hit enter, hit escape, :WQ, and this will save the file on this machine. So let's go ahead and now test whether a file is available. So we type index.html along with EC2's public IP address, hit enter, and as you see, we can see the IP address of our EC2 instance right here. So it is the same address as the URL. Okay, so we have successfully created our sample HTML files on both of our EC2 instances. So the next step that we need to do is basically to launch an application load balancer. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so as you see, I have load balancers right here. So let's click on load balancers. Okay. Click on create load balancer and select application load balancer, this one, and hit on create. Okay, I'm going to give it a name. So my app ELB is going to be internet facing with IP address type IPv4. I'm going to enable port 80 on that. Okay, and I'm going to put it on availability zones 1A and 1B because these are the two availability zones where my EC2 instances are. My EC2 instances are on two different public subnets. Next, we will configure the security settings, security groups. So you can either use the public IPSG or basically create a new security group. So let's go ahead and create a new security group. So I'm going to create my ELB SG, and I'm going to open HTTP port 80 on that. Okay, and then finally configure routing. So I'm going to create a new target group. So I'm going to give it my ELBTG. I'm going to use the protocol as HTTP, port as 80, and our target type over here is going to be instance. Okay. And our protocol again for health checks is going to be HTTP, and the path that it needs to look for needs to be index.html. Okay, so finally we will go ahead and register the targets. So hit on register targets, and if you scroll down, you should see both our EC2 instances running. So let's select both the EC2 instances and click on add to registered. And next we will review through everything. So this is basically summary of all the steps that we have performed till now, and click on create. So as you see, it's working on creating our load balancer. And this generally takes a few minutes, okay? So our load balancer has been created, our target group has been created, our targets have been added, and as you see, they are still currently in the initial stage. And to go from initial to healthy, it generally takes a few minutes. So I'm going to pause the video, and once our load balancer is available and our targets are healthy, I will resume recording. So as you see, our Elastic load balancer is active. This is our application load balancer right here. It's in an active status. And our target groups, both the targets are in healthy status. Okay, so the next step would now be to basically access our HTML page using our load balancers DNS. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go back to our load balancers. And as you see, this is our load balancers DNS. So let's go ahead and copy that. Okay. And let's open up a new tab. Let's paste it right here and hit enter. So as you see, we are able to access our index.html over our Elastic Load Balancer. Now, currently this page is being rendered from our EC2 instance with this IP address. So this is basically EC2.1. If you refresh the page, okay, there a couple of times, and you will see that the IP address changes. So sometimes it's rendered from our EC2 1 instance, and sometimes it is rendered from our EC2 2 instance. Okay, and every time you keep on refreshing, you will see that the IP address changes. So it's being rendered randomly from either of the two instances. Okay, guys, so I hope this was helpful. This should help you to basically load balance your EC2 instances using an HTTP load balancer. If you have any questions or comments, do let me know. If you would like me to create a video on any specific topic, then please go ahead and post in the comments. Please do provide your feedback if I need to improve on the content or my presentation skills or anything else. One of the things that I would certainly advise you is to please go ahead and release all your resources, okay? So ensure that you release your EC2 instances as well as your Elastic load balancers. So that is very important. Otherwise, you will end up paying, a substantial amount of cost for them, okay? Depending upon whether you have a free account or a paid account. But it's just, in general, a good practice to just go ahead and delete all the resources that you have provisioned. So just go ahead and delete the load balancer and the target group. So click on yes. And also ensure that you clean up your resources, like your security groups, etc. And also clean up your EC2 instances. So we have 2 instances running. So I'm going to go ahead and terminate them. So click on yes, and need to even clean up my security group. So this was my security group for my ELB. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the security group as well. Okay, so I think I have deleted all the resources that I had provisioned. So, okay guys, thank you and have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.